roast for dinner for my mate Tim Anderson asked, he said, how do you get a good crackling? So I thought I just might as well do it for dinner with the boys and my wife. So we're just going to run you through really quickly how to make sure you get a nice crunchy crackling on the pork roast. So many people actually make the roast and it's actually quite steamed, the skin, it's very soft. We want to make it nice and crunchy, that's the goal. So let's get to it. I'll show you how to get a really nice crunchy skin. There's something like this under the roast. It'll give you a gravy, some really good flavours, but also lifts the roast up so it's actually the air is circulating. You can use a wire rack or you can use vegetables such as this. The convection oven I have here has got a wire rack in it as well. So I'm going to do two different methods of roasting I'll show you. And then one is in the oven on a rack, and then the second one of these are really good, these convection ovens. Very cheap, and they're not as messy to wash, okay, and keeps your oven nice and clean. So let's go for it. You can actually thaw, warm, preheat, bake, roast and fry. They're really a clean operating machine, and then you can set your timer.
Remove your roast from the packaging and pat dry with paper towel to remove any excess moisture. Leave in the fridge overnight or up to the night.
And when you score it, you go one side and then you come back through this way if you want some little squares. It's really what you're after. It's just so the salt gets into the skin, because any moisture on top of the skin surface is going to actually reduce the effect of actually drying it out and causing the crackling to bubble and pop up. Right, so what we're going to do, just a little bit of oil on here. If it is a little bit wet, you can actually just put the salt straight on, but I just want to make sure it goes into the grooves. Okay, we really want that oil to actually seep through, and we also want the salt to actually stick to the crackling. Don't forget around the sides as well. I've just got a salt grinder here, a pink Himalayan salt. It really doesn't matter the salt you want to use, just so you can get it fairly fine to go through the scoring that you've scored on top of the pork. So come in here and I'll just show you really quickly. So we just want to make sure that you do get a fair bit of salt on there. It's not the most healthiest of meals, okay, but you can decide whether you want the crackling or not. And then you just want to rub the salt in, like so, into the grooves. A little bit more if you need it. Okay, the oven's ready. So with this one, I'm going to actually place it up onto the trivet that I showed you. A little bit of oil on the veggies so they don't burn. Okay, just onions, carrot, celery is a really nice thing to have as well if you have any. You just don't want them to black and caramelise up, otherwise they're going to give a really bit of flavour when they burn. Okay, and I do have some potatoes that I prepared earlier. They're going to go in later on, probably about halfway through the cooking process. Just a little bit of oil on them, just to stop them browning off. We're going to put them in shortly. Okay, let's get this in the oven. The top element on there ready to go, as I showed you. That'll crispen up the top of the pork skin. Do it for about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, so I'm just going to put this into the convection oven. Another way of cooking it, this is how we usually do it because it's a fairly even heat. So we're just going to pick that pork shoulder up like so. Place it into the position you're after, okay, because that's how you want it to basically set while it's cooking. We're just going to use a wire rack for this one and then do the potatoes about halfway through. All right, that just goes on like so, and then we're ready to go. Let's get some colour. You have to make sure you keep clean with hygiene, so always make sure you wash as you go. It's a very important thing. No worries, mate. Right, let's go over here and have a quick look at the pork crackling. You can see it's starting to crispen up. That's been about 15 minutes. So we've got a couple more minutes. I've turned it down to 180. So let's get into it. Alright, so there we have it. There's the pork. Beautiful, nice, crunchy crackling. So we're going to just pull this out and let it rest for about 5 minutes. It's always a good idea to rest the roast, any roast. Just lets the muscle fibres relax and makes the actual roast more tender. So always make sure you do rest it. As you can see, we're going to remove this crackling shortly once it rests. But you can hear that already how nice that is. Okay, beautiful. There you go, Ando. Alrighty, so that's a bit of an overview on how to make a really good pork crackling. Obviously it comes down to have a really dry skin, whether you use paper towel to dry off the moisture or put in the fridge overnight to actually dry the skin out. So that makes a massive difference, and the salt absorbs the moisture in the oven. So I hope you enjoy that, Ando. Give it a go and let us know how it all goes. Just actually thinking, has anyone seen Kai at all?
Dad, did you see the wedding?
Oh, no.